right, I was just doing a video. I'm using my phone to sort of as a dictaphone, just to sort of give myself. So I'm talking to my vlog. What? You're saying yeah?
You're saying you were using it as a dictaphone.
Yeah, I'm talking to my vlog. I'm live.
I thought you were
No, sorry, I'm not talking to you. Shut up. No, I'm live. Sorry. I love you.
I love you.
No, I'm just talking to my viewers. I'm using my phone as a vlog, so I was facing the camera to me, so I'm going to turn it around in a minute. It's becoming addictive now, this book thing. Now I'm on a roll. Now I'm on a real roll. And I can see why some writers have a block, because it is, you have an idea, but you don't know how to progress that idea or put it down on paper. I certainly don't anyway, so I'll tell you what, this ChatGPT thing has really helped. Even if it is deemed not my story, it should be, because, you know, I do write, as I say, I write something like, the bus went down the street and it crashed. And then I'll say to ChatGPT, how can I word that better? And it'll just add a few nuances. The bus was skidding down the street and suddenly came to a halt and crashed. You know, it's my wording, but just changed a bit. Do you know what I mean? So it should be, in theory, well, but I had the idea, it's just been polished. And a good way of saying polished is, randomly, I put it on my phone because I thought, because you can talk to ChatGPT and ChatGPT can talk to you back. So I put it on my phone and then I took a photo of myself and I thought, oh, do I look like younger? And I've become addicted to doing that and all. Because the character in my book, I'm going to base on this face, but a younger version of, a better version. It's basically a better version of me. The me I'd like to have been. The me in another universe, the good-looking me, not the ugly fucker you can see here. She's asleep. I was expecting, you're not ugly. But no, none of that. She'd probably just turn around and say, oh, you could do with a shave, you could do with this, you could do with that. If you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you'll see a photo of me in a kilt with a waist jacket, shirt and socks and proper shoes with the brogues. I think they're called brogues. I'm pretty sure they're called brogues. And socks, they're not called socks, they're called hose. So, and I'll tell you what, I look amazing. I look absolute. I'd shag myself. Oh, I do. I look really good, but obviously I've got dark hair. But I'll tell you what as well, just from a few tweaks, I can actually look like that now. Because what I did, the way ChatGPT works, and I am going to talk about other stuff as well, gardening, whatever. I'll talk about SGM, what we did on Sunday. Ooh, that was, yeah. Wait till you hear all that news. Anyway, so, you know, I do subtle tweaks to keep my identity, because if you say, oh, can you make me look younger, can you do this, can you make me look... I mean, Sam put it through and says, oh, what do you look like if he's a 30-year-old woman? Look, nothing like me. She says, no, I can see it. No. So anyway, I do subtle tweaks, and I says, can you just clean up the photo, keep my identity, keep my face and everything, and facial features so you know who I am, but just clean up the photo. And all it does is change the subtle lighting, so it is me, you can tell it's me, but it's just subtle tweaks. And I says, what would it look like if my hair was darker? What would it look like in this setting? And yeah, it doesn't take a lot. Didn't realise it. Thank you. Now I know what most vans would do. They would pull out. They wouldn't indicate, they'd just pull out. Well, I'm indicating to say I'm going to move. According to my accounts, I do need to do some more work on them. You see, the problem with this Go Digital thing is that my spreadsheet, I need to look at fill in my spreadsheets, because I am sure I've earned more money than this. Because according to my accounts, I'm 9 grand at the moment. That is appalling. By now, I should be on about 10 grand at least. But no, I'm on 9 grand. That's it. So I'm well down. I know we lost a lot of money last year, or I lost a lot of money last year. I don't know about Sam. I don't know how much she's earned. See, the difference is most of the expenses go out of my account because I'm the driver. I do all the, you know, I have to buy all the fuel and stuff like that, but I am going to have to start putting fuel through her account because she does do lawn mowing and stuff like that. In Leek, a cafe in Leek. Anyway, it's a nice little. I'm pretty sure they use an AP battery. I'm not sure, you know, for what they are. Battery stuff generally are lighter, but no, this is heavy. But the caveat on that is they're going to be built well. And he did say they seem very sturdy, and I've got to be honest and say they do seem very, very sturdy. And the pace on the mower is very good because it put it on the slowest setting. I thought, oh, this is a bit slow, because I thought he said that's the setting, that's because he did. He said that's the fast setting, and he meant it was on the fast setting, so he slowed it down. I thought, it's all right, but it's just a bit on the slow side. And then he turned it on the fast setting, and I thought, no, that's better. No, I had to turn it about halfway. And like most of these mowers, you know, you don't have to have the blade rotating. You can use the power to just push it forwards, which is a good thing. So if you've got a van and you want to get it in the van, you can use the power to get it into the van, which is what he did. He's got the hedge cutter and the long reach hedge cutter as well. Again, they're quite heavy, and he had this battery, and he said it's got the same amp hour but charges faster. And bloody hell, it was heavy. It was almost a third the size bigger. And I thought, what amp hour is it? And he said, no, it's the same. It just charges quicker. Blooming hell, it's really heavy. So that's the only downside of the stuff. And obviously, I didn't try it. And I would like to do like some form of collaboration with him, where maybe I'll go on a job and I can try out his tools, you know, and give my opinion on them. You know, just I spend a day doing some of the work he does. I mean, that would be interesting. I wanted to do that a few times on my channel, just sort of like go out with a few of the different gardeners who do videos and whatever, and sort of do a bit of gardening. But obviously this was for my channel, but I never did, because it's interesting to work with someone. I mean, I did work with Lee, LHL, not through intention. When I was going to have a meet up with him, but he was working, and yeah, I do think now, thinking back to it, that yeah, he just wanted somebody to give him a hand. But it didn't matter, because I found it interesting working with him. You know, his working style and what have you. So yeah, this Crest stuff, it is heavy, but it does feel like it's built well. We also did a vlog, what is it, gardener shed thing, so you'll have that in a couple of weeks. We were talking about my incident and the future and all different things and what have you, because the reality is every year I have a goal. I always try and have a goal and an achievement, something to strive for, the reason for me to do my work. And right now it's a 6-year goal. It's a long-term goal, and the long-term goal is to get our flat paid off. So, you know, as for gardening goals or anything like that, I guess, yeah, the goal is to change my company name to the Kilted Gardener. Today I should be picking up the jackets. Sam's got her jacket and I've got my jacket, and on her jacket at the front it'll say Spirit of Nature on the small logo, and at the back just gardening services with my number. And then on mine, because there's no point in having her number because she doesn't like using the phone. And not only that, I think it just keeps things tidy. I also think when I talk to my accountant in April, I am going to ask her, because I've never done this, but I am going to ask her about partnership. And it's similar to having somebody work for you, but they are still their own company, and what happens is you become a partner in a company, and that company will be called the Kilted Gardener. So that's the thing, I say the company will be called Kilted Gardener, but do I have my separate company, and does she have her separate company, and then the company we work for is RJC Services? I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I am going to ask them about partnership, because the difference is, as I say, you're both self-employed, you both have your separate accounts and what have you, but you have one pot, which basically makes it a bit cleaner for working together. in our industry, I don't think it makes any difference. I think if you are, let's just say, working in a shop, working in one, because we work in different places, we have different jobs, but if you're doing the same job, technically you're supposed to have them as an employee, not as a subcontractor. So, yeah, as I say, if you're working in a shop, it's different because you are, you're basically employing them, but not having the benefits of employment, so, or not having the hassle of employment. Whereas working in our industry, because we have different jobs, because we're not doing the same job, that's where you can have a subcontractor and whatever. I mean, a lot of people do, builders do, painter and decorators do, and subcontractors will work with the same person for years, and it's not an issue because they are working different jobs. They're both submitting their own invoices and stuff like that. Sam has her own invoices and account. I have my own invoices and account. The only thing we do is instead of splitting one job, she'll have one job and then I'll have another job, and we split it like that. We split the job. We split the jobs, not the job, if you understand what I mean. It just makes things easier. Otherwise, our customer will have two invoices, one for the borders and one for... that's right, the traffic's building up here and I don't understand. I know why. Look at it, it's stopping. And do you want to know why? Just past the bridge, you may have seen, or on the back, you may have seen. No, it's a move now. You may have seen there was a junction, and I reckon what's happened is somebody's covered the junction. This a car on this traffic wants to go in that junction, they can't, so now it's all backing up. I tell you, I am pretty sure that's what's happening. It's moving now because they've obviously managed to move out the way, but I reckon that's what it was. I've seen it loads of times. People don't think. Anyway, so you're close to the barrier. So that is my goal for this year. It's just to change my company name, because so many people know me as a Kilted Gardener, but I don't want it to have a detrimental effect on my business, because I don't want people call RJC Services when I turn up in a kilt. Sometimes it can be a bit of a shock, but most of the time not. It's most people just don't bat an eyelid. I do have a website, and on one of the photos I'm wearing a kilt. So a couple of photos I'm wearing a kilt. So it's whether or not they bother to look at the photos. So when it's only when somebody calls me out of the blue and they've seen me on the website. But to be honest, most of my customers, like the one yesterday, the one we did yesterday, is a relatively new customer, and it's a friend of a customer's, and that's how I get my work. It's friend of customers. They recommend me, and the customer whose friend they are is somebody I've been working for since I was on my push bike. So I've been going for years to this customer for about 10 years. So, and they know. It's like yesterday. Here's an example. One of the things me and Sam were talking about was, I won't mention what it was all about, but when you watch his or listen to his podcast, you will hear a part about his is it lecky poles, and what do you think of this? And it sounds rude. What do you think of this lecky pole then? Hey, no. He bought something and he was a bit disgruntled about it. So when you listen to his vlog, you'll understand where I'm coming from on this. But the thing is like, I've had people say, and I've heard people say on their videos, oh no, you don't give away anything for free. But it depends on the customer. I mean, yesterday when we did this work for the customer, I was prepared to take $150 for the job, mainly because I didn't think I was going to be there for that long. I was there for I thought I was going to be there for an hour at the most. I wasn't, because I did more I suggested So there you go. I suggested it. Wasn't his suggestion. It wasn't something that he said, oh, this is what I want doing. Then I would have said, right, it's going to be, I don't know, 200 quid. But it was something I suggested. So, you know, I thought, because he says to me, how much is it going to be? Because I might have to nip out. And I said, well, you're probably looking at 150. And I says, if it's a half day, you're looking at 225 if we're there for a few more hours or whatever. And to be honest, we were there for half a day, and yeah, I'm giving my prices away here. You're thinking, how much? Remember, there are two of us, and he's still thinking, how much? I'd be charging 300 quid for that. Half day's work, 2 people. Anyway, I don't like talking about prices because, you know, your price is your price. Just you know, stop listening to these idiot YouTubers, including me. Just do what you think is best for you. Just, the only thing I will say is try and steer clear from hourly rates. Anywho, so I said to him 150, even though I was there for nearly half a day, and he gave me 200 quid. So, you know, and when I say I was there for nearly half a day, I don't think we got there till about 9 o'clock. So it wasn't really a full half day, because normally when I say half day, it's 8 till 12. But we weren't really there for a full half day. I think we left about 11:30. We didn't get there till about 8, 9 o'clock. So, you know, I think the price I gave him was a fair price, but you know, he's happy with what we've done. We've done a lot of work, and you know, so he paid us. And the thing is, because I don't push that agenda, because I don't say, oh, it's going to cost you 225 quid because we were here half a day. Technically we weren't, but because I didn't do that, you know, they are really happy. It's like, let's just say, for the sake of argument, I said, right, it's going to be 225 quid, we'll spend half a day here, and that'll be it. It'll take us roughly about half a day, 225 quid. And then it takes us a couple of hours, and the guy might come out with 225 quid. There you go, mate, done a cracking job. I don't know, I will actually say, nah, it's only 150 or 100 quid, depending on how long. If it takes us an hour, 100 quid, you know what I mean? So I will drop the price, because I will take the price as to what I think the job's worth and how long we took. I base it on that, and I will drop the price. And that's the thing I'm getting to. I do that with all my customers. It doesn't matter who they are, because I want to be fair. You know, there are times when I have a set price and I don't give a time or anything like that, and I do take that price, usually on one-off customers. But when it's a regular customer, and a regular customer that I consider a really good customer, then I will do that. I will drop the price and say, no, I weren't here for that long. And there are times when I've done more work and I've had to up the price, and sometimes I've had to say to them, look, I'm really sorry, I have been here for a full day, and I know I said it was only going to cost this much, but I've got no choice. I've got to charge more money, and that is softened always, I believe, in the fact that when it doesn't take a full day, when it doesn't take the amount of time I said, and I do drop the price, I think that softens that blow. If you understand that, I could be completely wrong, who knows, but so going back to this year and what I'm going to be doing, you know, goals and stuff like that, I think that's the only goal I've got. I mean, to be honest, I haven't even had my mowers serviced, and I do need them serviced. I like to have my HRH serviced at least my roller. Expensive mower not to have serviced, to let it all just sit there and rot. And not only that, it just means that at the beginning of the season, the reason why I get the supplier, the whatever you call it, to service it for me, is because, oh come on, speed up mate, speed up, put your foot down. is because it means then when I start the mower up, if it doesn't work, I say, this don't work. Because I did have that problem towards the end of, a couple of years ago, towards the end of the year, the mower was struggling to start, and in the end, I had to use a different mower because I just could not get the thing started. Took it in for service and just said, I can't get this started, so it cost me a little extra money. I think I did the carb clean, I'm not too sure. So it's things like that, you know. It just means then I can take the mower away with a bit of peace of mind that it's been serviced and it should, in theory, run for the season. But yeah, goals. It's just a name change and buying the flat. Originally, I was thinking of having this van resprayed. Well, she is 6 years old, and I'm seriously now considering just getting another one. I like the peace of mind of having at least 3 years where I don't have to worry about the vehicle breaking down. I do like that. My AA membership is about to expire and be renewed. I am seriously thinking about having the BRC again, because that will cover the cost of the engine. If anything goes wrong with the engine, all I have to pay out is X amount of money, especially if it's something like what happened before where the gearbox fell out. I don't know what happened, but I know I had to have it done on the BRC. I had to have a new gearbox, and I had that done on the BRC. It cost me 500 quid, I think, and it was going to cost me 900 quid, so it saved me 400 quid. And not only that, things like batteries and what have you, I'm not sure if they're included, I don't know. I have had a new battery in this. It's really frustrating. This has got stop start, and I had a new battery in this, and the stop start doesn't work anymore. And I know why. It's because the batteries get drained to a certain point where stop start won't work. My car stop start doesn't work. You've got to have a really good strong battery, and it's got to be fully charged. That's the thing, and this isn't. I don't do long enough journeys really to have the alternator charge it, and the thing is, you could. In the old days, you'd take your battery off and give it a good charge overnight or something like that. I can't do that because these modern batteries, you can't disconnect. They're difficult to disconnect. I did do with the car battery, because I was going to do, I don't know why, but I disconnected the car battery and it screwed about with the blooming instruments, and I thought I'd fuck things up. Luckily I didn't, but you know, I was really concerned. I thought, oh shit, I've screwed things up. I think it just took a while to reset, so I don't want to mess about with the battery because you've got the ECU and God knows whatever else. So yeah, next year I am seriously debating getting another, but I'll just get another one of these, because originally I was thinking about getting a Citroen Relay, but I love these vans, I love the way they drive and everything, so I'm thinking of just getting another one of these. Would I go for Citroen? Yeah, I do think I would. As I say, I like how this particular van drives. I like the position of the van. The height isn't too much, because that's the thing. If I got a Relay, I'd be limited with barriers and God knows whatever else. And there are times when I go into town and I need to get something, and I think, oh, I'll get it in the van, and I can do, because I don't have to worry about barriers. Whereas if I've got a Relay, this blue car's going to not let me go. Even though technically it's a merging turn. What are they doing? Are they turning? Oh, they're turning! They're turning. Oh, I had a feeling they weren't going to let me go, but they just turned into that junction. So yeah, I'd be limited if I had the Relay. I like the idea of the extra space, but there you go. I've got the trailer now, so I don't need that extra space. I like the idea of the height, but again, that would be the only reason why I get the Relay now, is for the extra height, because not for tool storage or anything like that, but because yeah, the back of the van is my toilet. So, and it's awkward when you got to, you know, crouch and everything, especially at my age. So that would be the only reason why I'd get a Relay, is just for the height. So I mean, this is a medium wheelbase, and whether they do a long wheelbase in this now or by the time I go to buy one, because I would buy new. That's the thing, I'd buy new. Not in a snobby way, but because it does give you peace of mind. When the ECU went on this, alright, I was out of commission kind of for a while. They supplied me with a van, and they repaired the work for free. You imagine if you've got that, you buy a second-hand van, and you know, your ECU goes, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money gone, and that's going to cost you all that money. So, you know, for me, it gives me a bit of peace of mind.
134. That Morrison's.
Is it?
Diesel.
Can you remind me on the way back, because I need to put some fuel in, but I know I'll forget. Yeah, so she's thrown me now. So yeah, as I say, I like the way these run, and it gives me, yeah, that's it. I was talking about second-hand vans and stuff. You see, you'll hear people say about getting second-hand tools and stuff like that. Oh, you can go to eBay and you buy a load of second-hand tools if you're starting out, because they'll say, you know, you can do that, and you can. But the caveat to that is, what they never mention is, you're not going to get, or you could be lucky and get something that'll last you a lifetime, but you could be unlucky and get something that'll only last you a day. So that's a downside of having second-hand tools. This is something that is going to be your livelihood, and I honestly believe that you must buy the best quality tools you can buy, whether it's second-hand or whether it's brand new. Personally, it's brand new. Especially, as I say, a van, because you know, this is your main tool. This is your biggest, most expensive tool, and you can get a van on lease for as little as 200 quid. So, you know, you could do that, you could go down that approach. Maybe that's how I'll do it, just have a van on lease. Why? Because next year I'll be 57, 5 years time I'll be 62. Do I really want to continue after when I'm 62? I'm feeling it now. It is a punishing job. So do I want to continue doing this particular job when I'm 62? I honestly don't know. But having said that, if I was to get, say, a brand new van, it's like now, if I was 62 now and I managed to find some different type of work, let's just say my book took off and I managed to sell it, actually managed to sell my book. You know, I could just go down that route. I'd have a van sitting there doing nothing if I bought it, but if I rented it or leased it, it goes back, and you know, that's it. I don't earn anything from it. It hasn't cost me anything. You're sort of paying less because you're not owning it. Basically, you're just renting it. And in a way, if you think about it, that's all I've done with this. The difference is how long I'll keep this for, is how much it earns for me. That's the difference. I've kept it now for let's just say 2 years, because I think the average, I don't know what the average lease is. I think it's about 3 years. I don't know. Let's just say 3 years. So I've kept this van 2 years. So it's actually earned me 2 years worth of money, and it's not cost me anything apart from obviously fuel and stuff like that. So, you know, why did that feel like I was just suddenly hit?
Yes, dear.
Was it me, or did it feel like somebody just nudged us?
I never felt anything.
Oh, it must have been just me. It just felt, maybe it was a bump or something. I just felt in the van. I mean, I can't see anything on the van behind me. But yeah, it might have been just, sometimes if the trailer's a little bit loose, you can feel like you move off and then you feel like on the trailer, but the trailer's not loose. It's never been like that. On the Erde, sometimes if you go down like a dip or something like that, you can actually feel it on the back, and that's basically what it felt like. So I don't know.
Well, you know, you're going to find out if anything's gone into the back of you.
It's when I get to the depot, yeah. But what I want to do is look at the wheels, because when I was turning the corner, it could be, again, me just being paranoid, but the wheel looked like it was doing that.
You don't know what all the damage has had, and you know, because it could have been like something only has to be like loosened or whatever, and then over time we've used it since, and it's got looser and looser.
Yeah.
You just don't know. As if we ever get there. I mean, it's 8:15 now.
I know. Well, they've got traffic lights down here. So yeah, I do believe in buying brand new, and that is the reason why. But as I say, if I did buy brand new and I did decide to, keep the van, at least then I've got something to sell on when I do retire the business. Because when I say retire the business, you do see people selling businesses online. Personally, I wouldn't buy around, but I have known people to sell around. And the reason I wouldn't buy around is because, well, you could do that and then the customer say, I don't need you anymore. So that's why I wouldn't do it. But you've certainly got tools, a van, and everything to do with the business. You've certainly got all that stuff you can sell. You wouldn't get a lot for it, so you wouldn't expect a lot for it. Maybe sell things separately. It's probably why you see it on all on eBay. But I'm not saying that's like a retirement fund or anything, but it would give me a little bit of cash at the end if I bought the van. It'd give me a little bit of cash at the end when I do finally quit this particular job. But if I leased the van, I wouldn't have that. That's the difference. It's like if I leased this and I decided to go for another van, I just end up constantly paying out, whereas now I haven't. What I should have done, which I didn't, I did start doing it, but I didn't. What I should have done is put the money I was paying $350 a month for this. The original price, the lease price, is $129. That was when I first bought this, which is probably about 6 years ago now. 2019, so it's nearly 7 years ago. So when I first bought this, it was $129 for lease, and it cost me $350, or just under, a month, and then it's mine. So after 5, and that's a 5-year HP. So after 5 years, it's mine. So this van is mine. But if I'd leased it, I'd still be paying the price would have gone up, because I don't think they put the price up as you are leasing. I think they put the price up if you want to have a new one. So then then they'd say, right, it's 350 quid. Whereas like now, I'm not paying anything. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how much it is to lease a new van, but I'm sure it's closer to 350 than it is to 229. I ain't got the acceleration to do that, mate. So, for me there are benefits, but then I am now in a position, I wish people would indicate, I am now in a position where the van is getting old. It's done 60 mile an hour, so 60,000 miles, and usually around there, that's when you want to start thinking about changing the clutch and stuff like that, and that's an expensive job. But it's still cheaper than what I'd be paying if I was leasing, 300 quid or whatever it would be to lease this or this type of van. Yeah, you get that peace of mind. That the van's going to be repaired, whereas you're thinking, well, God, I've got to get the money for it. But as I say, if I'd have put the money aside for 2 years, I'd have enough money for a really decent deposit, which meant that for the amount of money I get for the van, which is probably a few grand, I wouldn't get much for it. I'd like to get about, if I was to sell this, I'd like to get at least 8 grand for it. Would I? Probably not. But if I was to sell it to a shop or something like that, I'd be lucky to get £1 grand. As I say, it's got low mileage, and I mean, I bought my Transit Connect for £4,000, and that's just an old Transit Connect, and that had 67,000 miles on the clock and a lot of problems, whereas this has got no issues whatsoever. So the regular service, I've got proof of regular service, and it's only done 60,000 miles. So I do think I'd get a decent amount of money, or if I was to sell privately for it. But I think if I was to sell Part X, they wouldn't give me much for it. And not only that, you end up paying it on the HP anyway. So there's good points and bad points about HP and what do you call it, leasing. I mean, you can get the lease where you have a balloon payment at the end, where you do a lease and then you make a decision at the end, do I pay the rest off and keep the van? Again, you could put the money aside, but then it's, what you would have paid for buying the van. So if the lease is 200 quid and to buy was 350, then what you'd do is you'd put 150 quid aside each month, which is what you would have paid if you were buying it, and then you'd make the decision then at the end of the lease, oh, I'll buy the van, and then you've got the money there. Maybe that's a way of doing it. But yeah, so next year I am seriously debating whether to get a new van, and if I do, I'd probably go for black. I like the colour black. Everyone says, oh, don't get a black car, it's hard to clean and all this lot, and they always look dirty. Well, I've got to be honest and say, my van always looks dirty. As soon as we've had a rain, that's it, it's dirty, whereas my car, not so much, from a distance. So I do prefer black. I think they look sleek. So I'd probably go for a black van. I think Cheese has got one. I keep calling him DJ Cheese. God, that's an old 80s one, isn't it? DMC mix and all them lot. But yeah, Mr. Cheese down south, I'm sure he's got one of these, and I'm sure it's black. But I like the colour black, and my balloon goes black. My car was black, my Hyundai, that was black, so I like the colour black, so I'd go for black, and then I'd probably have the trailer painted black. I'm actually thinking of having the trailer painted black anyway, and the thing is, I could do it myself, and the reason is because it's not an important thing to get absolutely perfect, but I would like to paint the trailer black. Just do it up a bit. I was talking to Sam SGM on Sunday about magnetics. He said, would you have any sign written, or would you have any signage on the trailer? And I said, I'd like to keep magnetics, but the downside is that trailer's fiberglass, so magnetics won't stick. And then he said, well, you can get these frames, can't you, that people use as advertising. And what you do is, like frame board, they can change it. So you've got a bit of perspex, it's waterproof, and you just put your sign in, and then, just tighten up the frame, and that's how you do it. Maybe that's a way of doing it, but it's a bit clunky. I like the idea of magnetics, it's sleek. It doesn't look obvious that it's a magnetic. So maybe there is a way of doing it. Maybe there's a sort of magnetic paint I can use. I know you can get a magnetic paint. I'll just pull out on me, why don't you? T-Watt. I know you can get a magnetic paint, because my mate used to use it. It's like a black paint that has particles in it that magnets can stick to. So maybe I could go down that route, but whether or not it'd be strong enough to hold the magnetics, I don't know. I'm sure I'll figure it out. I think this year I just want to stay afloat. Last year was so bad. The weather was gorgeous, but the thing is, this is the thing, you'll sit there and you go, oh, what's up with the heat? It's just a bit of heat. But honestly, as you get older, it does start to affect you. It really, really does. And it's gradual. You don't notice it affecting you, and then all of a sudden you realise you're this is too much. I can't do this. And you get tired quicker, you know, as you get older. It's inevitable. And that's the thing when you do a vlog like this and you say, oh, I quit because of the rain, and then you get some young kids saying, oh, I don't know what you quit for. Well, it's because you're a young kid and you don't know any better. Yeah, but you know, you've got to earn your money and all this. Like, well, I'm sorry, but I'm too old. I've got more important things in my life to think about, rather than I'm not killing myself just to earn money. And I always say this: I work to live. I don't live to work. And unfortunately, so many people live to work, and a lot of people don't have any choice, and I get that. But I always try and put a caveat on what I say, because the thing is, not everyone's the same, you know, come on. I can't say buy a new van, because you might not be able to afford it, you might not want it, it might not suit you. Right. Fucking stop, you twats. So infuriating, because I've got 5 people watching this, and I presume 5 of you are drivers. I don't know whether you know this, you should do, but at a junction, including roundabouts, pedestrians have priority. In other words, if a pedestrian's waiting to cross, you must let them cross. Whether you agree with that or not, that is the fucking law. But unfortunately, in a junction like that, you know, I do the right thing, but some twat, or most of the twats, don't. Bloody hell, it's 8:30. So there's this thing. You know, I charge them a day rate here, and the thing is, half the time I'm not even here for a full day because of the bloody traffic. Beacon. I do think there's something not quite with this trailer now. Could be just me. Oh, he's got a fucking JC.
He's just let you go.
So I'm just looking at the JCB, trying to work out if I can get past. You see, in this place, they have to make sure that the railway has access, whether they like it or not. The railway has to have access. I think that's, no, it's not unlocked. Right. Oh, I've got 7 people watching, so I'll just open up this and then I'll do a bit more talking, then I'll get to work. You won't believe it. I've got 2 people watching still, so I may as well carry on. Down here, right, just past our little gates, me and Sam have been tirelessly trying to fill in the hole where that water is. I mean, last week I got some old ballast and chucked it in the hole just to try and fill it in. As you can see, it's back again. Why? Because they've dug it back in. I don't know why.
They've ruined it again.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you close the gates before you go?
Well, I'm going to turn round and then we'll... It's bloody infuriating. The thing is, you work sometimes and then 1 step forward and 3 steps back. See, all this we're slowly filling in because of all the all the little holes and stuff like that. I can't do anything with the side here with all this crap here because I don't have the machinery to move it and just tidy it up. But it makes it easy if it's tidied properly, if it's put away properly. It just makes our job easier. When we get to this point, it's a frigging nightmare. You'll see we're working up here and you'll see how easy it is. I'm getting it to a point where I won't even have to trim it. I won't have to cut back bullion and use loppers and God knows what else. All I'll need to do is just get a mower. That is the plan because it makes things so much easier. All right, I'm doing myself out of a winter job. But if this year has proved anything, you know, it's not that much of a bigger deal anymore. Yes, it gives us winter work and it would be a big job to lose. I'm just going to park here. But you can see there, look, the difference. And there are little dips and stuff. I'll give you a little tour. There's poo. There's poo. It's fox poo. That's cat poo, actually. It's going to be cat poo. But you see here, look. This is where I've been shredded, and I shred it into a big dip. You can see it's all undulating and stuff. When it gets closer to the building, there's nothing I can do. You can see, look, here, look. The phone won't illustrate, but there's a dip there, there's a dip here. So when it sort of go ways to get the carpet through the chipper, I'll put in these dips. So eventually it levels out. Yeah, I'll come up here. You'll see, because I mean we did this sort of late last year, and all the chippings, they just swap down, the grass grows over and it's level. You know what I mean? So this is a perfect place. Now, quickly before I go, I was talking to one of my customers about you know, being able to dump waste on different places and stuff like that. See, the problem with that is, if you're dumping waste on somebody's property, they have to have a licence to be able to handle that waste, whether you know, it be their property or not. They've got to have a licence. Whereas somewhere like here, I'm not dumping waste. As you can see, I'm levelling off the ground. So that could be dug out and put in the hole, but I won't bother. I'll probably just level it off. This was a really deep hole, but it's levelling off. You can see over there, there's another one over there, and back there there's quite a few, but you won't be able to see them because the grass has grown over. So, and then there's random rocks everywhere, so I'm taking these and putting them on somebody else's garden rather than dumping them in the skip. So I'll try and recycle, because that's what it is, it's basically recycling. I'm trying to recycle as much as I can. Bloody amazing, you've got to make sure, because it could be illegal. When I have got some bird feeders in here, and I shall take them down to the skip and I'll put them in their skip. So you can see the difference. But as soon as we get to all that, hello, I didn't even know you were with me. So, right, scared the life out of me, she did. I didn't even know she was there, quite as a little mouse, my little Samster. So I'll see you in another vlog. I'll see you in another laugh.